So moving on to the next book, which is the book for my reading. Am I reading? No, it's the book for my book club. Hello everyone, and welcome to the video. Thank you so much for being here and for your patience while I was taking a little break from YouTube. I'm excited to be back and to bring you this month's reading calendar reveal and my very short TBR for the month of July. So without further ado, let's just dive right into the video. As always, we will start with the reading calendar reveal. Got my little reading calendar. For July, I will be reading Tar Baby by Toni Morrison. I am really looking forward to reading a Toni Morrison book. I don't believe I've read any of her novels, but I'm obviously familiar with her, and I did have to pull up a summary of Tar Baby, which I am going to be reading from Goodreads. And I just took a quick glance at this right before I started filming, and I'm really excited for this book. Ravishingly beautiful and emotionally incendiary, Tar Baby is Toni Morrison's reinvention of the love story. Jadine Childs is a Black fashion model with a white patron, a white boyfriend, and a coat made of 90 perfect sealskins. Sun is a Black fugitive who embodies everything she loathes and desires. As Morrison follows their affair, which plays out from the Caribbean to Manhattan and the Deep South, she charts all the nuances of obligation and betrayal between Blacks and whites, masters and servants, and men and women. I just love that whoever wrote this summary started out so strong. That first line, ravishingly beautiful and emotionally incendiary, immediately hooked. So I'm very much looking forward to reading Tar Baby. And yeah, this will be my very first Toni Morrison novel. I believe I've read maybe some of her essays in the past, but never one of her novels. So very excited that Toni Morrison has been included on my reading calendar. If you hear a little bit of talking in the background, I believe it's my neighbor. I'm filming on our front porch today because the lighting is better on this side of the house this time of day, and I'm finding that I can't film. Obviously I can film inside, but I have to use the overhead lighting, which is, it's a little yellow, and so we have so many trees around our house, and they're all filled out with green leaves this time of year, so it's actually quite dark in the house, which is nice. You know, it feels like a little tree house, but for filming purposes, it's not the best lighting situation. So I am attempting to do a little bit more filming outside this summer now that I've realized just how shaded our house gets inside during this time of year. The next book that I am going to be reading in the month of July is for my book club, which is hosted over on Patreon, and that book is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. This has been adapted into a film, which I don't know if you watch like movie recaps here on YouTube. They're like a little guilty pleasure of mine. So I have actually seen the movie recap for this story. I know the overarching story and I know the twist, but because of that movie recap, I have really, really wanted to read the book because I know that there's just going to be so much more detail, and I like that the main character is this strong female character, and I would really like to see how her character develops over the course of the story. If you are not familiar with Where the Crawdads Sing, I'll just read the summary on the inside cover here. For years, rumors of the Marsh Girl have haunted Barkley Cove, a quiet town on the North Carolina coast. So in late 1969, when handsome Chase Andrews is found dead, the locals immediately suspect Kaya Clark, the so-called Marsh Girl. And that is all I'm going to read. Yes, I love that this is also set in North Carolina, which is the state that I live in, but I obviously live in the mountain region, and this book is set along the coast. So I think it will be really a good one to read in the summertime, because I'm not sure if this, like, the story doesn't solely take place within one season, like it occurs over several years, but I just feel like this story will be a good one to read in the summertime. Just a hunch that I have. And those are actually the only two books that I'm going to plan to read for the month of July. I have been in a little bit of a reading slump, and I'm having trouble finding like a groove as far as setting aside reading time now that I work outside of the house. And the audiobooks have definitely been helping, and I will read those when I'm driving to and from work, but my drive is not very long, and so I'm only getting like little snippets of the story as I drive, and so it just feels like my reading is a bit choppy. And I think I'm just really craving like time to sit down and time to really dive into a story without interruption. I will be reading, because I don't have a copy of Tar Baby, I am going to do the audiobook just because I think it's still just a lot easier for me to do audiobooks, even though I'm not able to like just sit and fully dive into them. I think one audiobook and one physical book for the month of July. I'll see which reading experience, or I guess like which format of the book feels a little bit better. And yeah, maybe I'll switch back to physical books and get back into my old routine of setting aside time every evening to read, even for just 10 minutes, because I think it's also that when I'm listening to the audiobook and I'm driving to work, I know that I'm gonna have to stop the story at some point, and inevitably something really cool is happening in the story right when I pull up to work, and so I have to like stop it at this like really exciting point in the story. So that I think is feeling a little bit frustrating and contributing to my reading slump, because I'm just having to like cut myself off maybe a little bit of dedicated time. Reading a physical copy of a book will help me feel like I'm getting out of my reading slump a little bit. Before I wrap up this video, I do want to give a special thank you to my patrons who have been supporting my creative work since earlier this year. It is truly thanks to you that I'm able to make these videos, explore creative content across the internet, and also take breaks when I need them. So thank you so much for your support. If you're interested in checking out my Patreon, I host a book club over there. I also do behind the scenes content, and I also write, record, and produce an exclusive audio series called Soothing Stories, which are immersive second person stories, and I will leave a link in the description box if you are curious to check it out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you are enjoying your summer if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, or your winter if you live in the Southern Hemisphere. And until next time, I hope you have a lovely and cozy book to curl up with. Bye-bye.